Hi, I'm Carrie Wyatt Kent. Joining me today is best-selling author Terri Blackstock. Terri is a New York Times best-selling author with a total of more than 6 million copies of her books in print. A pioneer of the Christian suspense genre, Terri's a masterful storyteller. Her other recent books include Predator, Double Minds, Last Light, Dawn's Light, and others. Welcome to Christian Fiction, Terri.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Good. Well, let's talk about Downfall. Downfall is a murder mystery and is the third book in your Intervention series, which centers on the Covington family. Daughter Emily is a recovering drug addict who's been sober just 2 years. Her mother, Barbara, fears that sobriety is tenuous, especially when someone plants a bomb in Emily's car. The book is an honest look at the challenges that addicts' families face, even when that addict is in recovery. So Terri, let's talk about Downfall. It's the third book in your Intervention series. So tell us a little bit about this series and this book in particular. What made you decide to tackle the sticky topic of addiction and recovery?
Well, this literally came out of my own family. I have a daughter who has very severe drug addictions, and we struggled with it for years before we actually told people about it. And when we finally did, it seemed like people were coming out of the woodwork. Right. They had the same problem. And I finally realized that, I'm a big believer that sometimes a crisis in our lives is meant for a purpose, and part of the purpose of this in our lives might have been so that I could write about it and help other families. So I told the story of the family who's dealing with this, and book one, Intervention, dealt with the mother who is setting up an intervention for her daughter, and when her daughter goes off to treatment, the interventionist is murdered, and the daughter vanishes. And Barbara and her 14-year-old son have to go looking for her. And then in Vicious Cycle, book two, I dealt with crystal meth addiction, which is just sweeping our country. It's a terrible thing. And that sort of getting involved with this friend who has that problem sort of pulls Emily back into it, and her brother almost into it. And so I dealt with the family through that. And now in Downfall, book three, I wanted to show Emily really struggling to stay sober and do the right thing. She's in college, but her mother's still waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Sure.
And that truly is what a family feels like when their loved one is finally in recovery. They still can't quite trust them. They don't know what's going on. And when Emily is, when a bomb is placed under her car, her mother is certain that she has gotten back into the drug culture and is bringing chaos back into their lives.
And that's scary to her, yeah. So this is partially informed by your experiences, but not necessarily autobiographical.
Right. We didn't have a murder, thank goodness.
Nobody bombed your car.
No, but we did have some interventions that were very similar to what I wrote. And, the character of Barbara, the mother, throughout the series, really, I poured so much of my own emotions into her. It was very therapeutic for me to write her. And also it was therapeutic for me to write Emily, the addict, because it helped me to sort of get into my daughter's skin and sort of understand her point of view in this whole thing.
Right.
And, I think the thing is, it's a fast-paced suspense thriller.
Right.
And it's entertaining to all of my readers for that reason, but I think if what my readers can really take away from it is an understanding of families who are going through this type of thing, so that they're not judging those families and maybe even know how to help them.
Well, and like you said, if people are afraid to talk about it, but then you talk about it, it gives them a safe place to kind of process some of that. Now,
that's so true. And also I want them to know that, people who look like they have it all together often don't.
Right.
It happens to us too. And I've learned that it happens to pastors' families, missionary families, We didn't have alcohol or drugs in our home, and we raised our kids the best we could.
Sure.
And this still happened to our family.
Yeah.
So,
because they're human beings who get to make their own choices. Yeah. So
exactly.
That's hard. Well, let's also talk. Your books keep readers on the edge of their seat. They're exciting and suspenseful, but beyond just that entertainment factor, which you talked about, what are you hoping your readers will come away with? Maybe people have gone through the same thing, are feeling they're not alone, but somebody else, and you've alluded to this already, but what do you hope readers will come away with?
I always want my readers, in every series I write, every book I write, I want them to come away with a sense that there is purpose to what they're experiencing. And I want them to see redemption and God's provision through it all. Right. And that's the main reason that I write. I feel like God gave me a gift, and it's meant to glorify Him. And I can do that by showing people in crisis, sometimes finally, depending on God, and how He works things for their good, and how even the most awful suffering, even the most terrible things in their lives, even death sometimes, can be something that God can bless and use, and there can be meaning in it.
Right. Wow. Well, it sounds powerful. I've started reading it, and it's just amazing. So, now, what's next for you? Are you working on another book? I'm sure you are.
am. I just finished book 1 in my new series, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. The intervention series was kind of heavy for me.
Yes.
And so I'm doing something that is a little lighter for me, even though it's still suspense. And it's called the Moonlighters series. Mm-hmm. And the first book, Truth Stained Lies, will be out in February of 2013.
Truth Stained Lies. I love the title.
Yeah.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
More suspense?
It is. It's really, the series is about 3 sisters who... one is a blogger, one is a taxi driver, and one is a stay-at-home mom. And they have to moonlight as private investigators to sort of solve some crimes related to their family.
Oh, my goodness.
And that's sort of the underlying plot line of the whole series.
Sounds
so
great.
I'm having a lot of fun with it. I love these sisters, and my editors are telling me that it reminds them a lot of my Cape Refuge series.
Okay.
So I hope my readers will be watching for it.
I'm sure they will be. I'm sure they will be. Well, Terri, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us today. Now, friends, if you have not yet read Downfall, get a copy today and read it, because we are going to be discussing Downfall on the Christian Fiction Facebook page at our virtual book club a week from today, June 18th, and we'd love to have you join us. So, and of course, Terri is going to stop by and chat with the book club during our meeting as well. So we'll see you soon. Thanks for listening. Bye.